What is Zen coaching? First of all, it's coaching, and second, it's Zen put together. My own life path, of course, began with my birth, you could say, and maybe before that, but when I consciously started to wonder deeply about who I am, I think I was around 21, 20, 22, and this question, who am I, became really very important to answer. Who am I really? Not as a personality, you know, I'm a man, I'm Norwegian, I'm born in this family, but who am I as a being? I'm a human being, and what is that? What is it to be me? What is this consciousness that I am? I am not just a body, I'm not just feelings, I am a consciousness. And what is that? What is it to be conscious? And what is consciousness? And who am I? So this question began my journey, and it's still my journey. And as I see it, it's every person's journey, this question, who am I? Who am I really? What am I made of? Which boils down to, what is life made of? What is the universe made of? It's not just things, physical things, because there is awareness. I'm aware, and you're aware of watching me, and I'm aware of sitting here, speaking. So who am I? And this question, and all the questions related to it, what is a meeting? What is love? What is connection? What is understanding? What is peace? What is this kind of question? Led me first to study all kinds of ologies, like psychology, sociology, anthropology, but first of all, philosophy. I was actually studying computer science, and I switched in, as this question came alive for me, I switched into the social sciences and organizational theory and all the sociology, psychology, anthropologies, and specifically philosophy, because this is the field of Western thinking that asks this question the most, who am I? So I studied philosophy for several years, existentialism, phenomenology, because I wanted to know, and I'm still curious about to explore and discover more. What is it that I am? I also had another streak in me, which is I want to do things, I want to adventure, I want to have experiences and discover the world, and do something good with my capacities and my skills, and do something good for the world, and doing, manifesting something. So I had this looking inside and going outside, these two streams in me, pulling in quite different directions. And the doing stream pulled me to work internationally with International Development Corporation and international aid. I worked for the United Nations, I worked for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with World Bank issues, I worked as an independent consultant for the Mekong River Commission, for various agencies on poverty reduction, on environmental management, on peace building, and so on. And my main focus was organizational, institutional building, human processes, how to work together for a good world. However, this other stream in me was always present as well, and meeting different cultures is a good mirror to ask, what in me is my nature and what in me is culture? What is learned and what is innate? What is my nature and what have I picked up as part of my upbringing and my culture and my family and so on? So I used traveling, I've always traveled around the world, to use cultures to learn something about myself. So after 8 years of this kind of work and this kind of journey, I needed something else to go deeper inside. And I quit my work, and I went to a Zen monastery in France, And I spent about 9 months altogether over a period of 2-3 years, together with the Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, practicing Zen meditation and mindfulness. And that's when this question became deeper ingrained as a practice, not only an inquiry, a question, but really a practice of being present, being in the present moment, and exploring meditation. What can I discover about myself through meditation? From that experience, I went on to study with many teachers. I moved to a meditation or personal growth community here in Sweden, where we're sitting right now, Ängsbacka. Beautiful countryside, people who are dedicated to personal growth. And also a place where a lot of teachers come who have dedicated themselves to insight and who are sharing it with others. So I moved here and I worked here first as a volunteer, cooking, painting walls and so on. At the same time, studying a lot with different teachers. I studied particularly nonviolent communication with Marshall Rosenberg and in that tradition that he has created. I went to groups with other teachers. One important teacher for me was Rahasya or Fritjof Kraft, who offers trainings in Sweden and around the world. And many other inspirations for me is the Danish teacher who now is called Nukunu, who taught me a lot about inquiry and exploration into consciousness and who I truly am. I studied also with Almas, who became and is and remains one of my main inspirations and one of the main inspirations for Zen coaching. He has developed a whole school of practice, of self-development, of self-insight, of insight, that he calls the diamond approach. So I've been to groups in this tradition and I've been inspired very much by that approach. Also, I met here at Ängsbacka a teacher, Candice O'Denver, who has also built up a whole approach to discovering and living our true nature, which is now called the Balanced View Teachings, used to be called the Great Freedom Teachings. I studied that. I studied with her and with teachers in her tradition. And all these influences, together with my management and organizational practice and working as a facilitator and also as a manager, becoming the owner, one of the owners of this course center, Ängsbacka. All of these things together is what has slowly evolved into Zen coaching. Everything I've been inspired by, I've included and put together in a way that resonates with me and which is supportive for me and that I see is supportive for others. This is Zen coaching. So something I have developed, but more than that, it's bits and pieces of inspiration from many sources. What is it exactly? It is simply the art of listening. How can we truly listen? First of all to myself, and second to another. How can we listen in a completely non-judgmental way, with openness, with compassion, with allowance? Listen and ask questions which support insight, which support transformation. So Zen coaching is simply a way to ask questions and listen, first to myself and second to another person. A coach for me is somebody who listens. So it's not a professional therapeutic thing, it's really something to do with anybody at any time. Listen to my friend, listen to my partner, listen to my family members, listen to my colleagues, listen to anybody with openness, with gentleness, with curiosity, especially with curiosity. Seeing life as an adventure to be discovered, more and more and more and more and more. Never-ending possibilities of discovering more about who I am, what I am. And what I'm learning and keep on learning is that what I am is consciousness. And consciousness includes everything I ever looked for. And includes everything anybody ever looked for. My nature and your nature and our nature is consciousness, is awareness, and it has and it is all the goodies, basically, that we're looking for, like peace, like love, like freedom, like strength, like clarity, like creativity, like trust, like strength. All these qualities which make life really vibrant and juicy is part of consciousness, are descriptions of the nature of consciousness, of me, of you. And the word Zen is just that, consciousness, the beingness of who we are and the beingness of everything that is. So Zen coaching is a coaching approach that supports people through open-hearted listening in coming home to the truth of who they are and then living from that space. And living from that space simply means living with peace, strength, clarity, creativity, connectedness, which of course is useful and necessary in any domain of life, in business, with your family, with yourself, with your friends. It's simply living in touch with yourself and in touch with the natural intelligence that we are, the natural wisdom. Generally, most people have an incredible potential which is not fully used. So we can also say Zen coaching supports people in living more of their potential. It's not about fixing problems and helping so much as releasing potential and opening up to more possibilities and deeper connection. And it's a very simple process. One thing that distinguishes maybe Zen coaching from other coaching approaches is this emphasis on the here and now. Our key question is, what is happening now? And checking in. And the second one is, what is happening in your body now? And checking in. Really including the body, all the energies, all the sensations, and discovering that accessing the body and feeling the body allows a tremendous amount of relaxation and transformation to happen by itself. And as we allow that, we discover this inner space of deep peace and strength and power and passion. And suddenly everything is easy. Solutions appear to us easily. The problems we thought we had seem very small. And generally we feel happy and satisfied and full and fulfilled. And we want to give and contribute and live from that